Yes, somebody arrived on a motorcycle with a delivery of some kind. Don't know quite what it is. It's amazing how much business is done on a motorcycle here. But anyway, Beth is handling that, so we can carry on with our little task. I did get lots of meat. The meat is the big part of the bill. Pork, one of pork, 136. Now this is a better quality of pork than we usually get. It's like big pork chops, and they're like this big, not hugely thick, probably only thick like this. But anyway, they cost so much per kilo, obviously. And the bill's there, 136, 126. Prices like that, 117, 129. So all around about the same price as usual. What are we looking at here? Or whatever it was, it's fallen on the floor. What was that about, honey?
It's about the work on the water tank.
Oh, for baby Jane's?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
yeah.
Are you
are you
going
okay?
back in?
Yeah, just gonna sleep.
Okay, honey. Now look what I got for you.
That's
Dragon fruit.
dragon fruit.
How do you eat this?
I don't know, it's my first time.
What? You know,
It's gonna be my first
but you're
time.
Filipino.
I know, I never ate that yet.
Okay, well, here, of course I can't, I have to get this, and of course it's in sachets, and it's the same old question about getting things in sachets. If you look, so it's so much a sachet, and actually since I got here I do understand and I do agree about the sachet. It's a more expensive way to obviously buy things, but such is the mentality. You know, look, I don't come from a rich family. I come from a poor working class family, and in the UK I lived in a poor district of Moss Side, and it was no Beverly Hills, but it was clean and tidy. It wasn't that kind of slum, but it wasn't regarded as being a posh place. So if you have come from that kind of background, for me, it's one of my pet hates. I don't like to waste food. I don't like to waste things like this. My parents would say to me, if you ask for it, you eat it. So whatever goes on your plate is by your request, and you eat it. You don't waste it. So a clean plate was mandatory in our house, and usually it didn't have to be enforced because we didn't eat that much anyway. So that's a thing that I see as being a good idea for the sachets, because for me, when I look at these sachets, I used to, on what Beth leaves in one of these, I wash my hair. She doesn't have that same religion of cleaning the plate, even though she experienced hardship that I could only imagine, where they really didn't have any money. And that whole idea still runs through the Philippines, certainly in the province. If people say that they don't have any money, guess what? They don't have any money. Literally, they may not have any money. In the little restaurant, the Candelaria that we go to that Tom and Ali Tom is a returning Filipino from many, many years abroad, and they've set up a little restaurant. The working men's cafe in the Philippines is called the Candelera, and they have set that up, and it is a godsend to us because it's just a couple of minutes down the road, and they do excellent food, a varied menu day to day, and we can go down there and we don't have to cook anything, and it is very reasonably priced. I often come back and say, how could we have 4 or 5 dishes and do it for the same price? Well, they're cooking in more, not big bulk, but for more than 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people. So that's how they can do it, and they do it very well. So we've got that down the road, and let me see what's the next thing that we've got in there. So we get the meat. Oh boy. Everything's gone west. Okay. So this is how we get our meat. Actually, I really don't like shopping for meat. These are in huge containers which you lean over the counter and you help yourself. Okay, so they have tongs, and of course for pork the tongs are red, and then you go on to other meats, they have different coloured tongs. But we buy in like this. Now you can look at, there's that. I consider will probably be okay for 1 meal. And if you look at it, there's my head, and there's the meat, and that's bones, and it is 129 pesos. So, and that's the kind of thing, the same kind of thing. These were the slightly more expensive, and you can see that there's a couple of quite big pork chops in there, and let me see, it's only 117 pesos. So guess it depends how much meat is in there. Here's another one, same kind of thing, would be from 1 meal, 126 pesos. So we've got that, and I put them in different bags so that I separate them there in Alturas in the meat department, and when I come home it just goes into the freezer. Everything else is see, this we cook in. I would love to cook. This is actually coconut oil. I don't know whether that's the right, no, it's not the right way around. Coconut oil, and let me see how much was that? Coconut. I can't actually see it on here, but coconut oil is actually better. It's healthier to cook in than the other cooking oil, because if you get the palm oil, my friend Steve says it's only just one step above engine oil. So I don't know whether that's for diesel or for gas engines, but anyway, that's I prefer to get this, and we cook in coconut oil. Now we also, as part of our diet, we have come down from the mountain, from Nanai's house. We have every week we consume a lot of coconut juice. They call it buku. And every single day we have buku. Buku keeps you going to that small place, and it's actually supposed to be very good for you. Now we have our buku without anything added, so there's nothing added, not water, not sugar, nothing. We just have the straight buku, and we have that pretty well every day. I still get the crackers, Skyflakes. Somebody recognize those? Familiar with those? Now, see, if Beth or Lena was doing the shopping for us, you see how big this is? This is a cheap way to buy dishwashing liquid, but they would never buy it like this, because even though they're likely to waste food on the plate, they will think in terms of sachets. Well, why don't they do it in sachets, save money? This is the best way, obviously, to buy it. What else? Every morning when I get up now, I get up at 4. If I don't get up at 4, it's because I'm getting up late. 4 is my best time to get up, 4 a.m. And I get up and I do all of my stuff. I get ready. I make the drink of apple cider vinegar and lemon and honey, and I make that 2 drinks of that. Take one in to Beth, and she has that as a therapeutic thing. And then I get ready. As soon as I've bathed and done everything like that, shaved and all of that, I go in and I do my workout. And once I've done my workout routine, which usually takes between 45 minutes and an hour, and once I've done that, I come out, and if we have bananas, I'll have instant oats. All I have to do is boil water, and I have these. They're supposed to be high in dietary fiber, source of energy, natural cholesterol free, naturally low in sodium, all of these things. Of course, there's absolutely nothing in there which is not good for me, is there? I believe it. My mother used to say, I believe you, thousands wouldn't. So the rest, I get a couple of emergency things. Now, if Beth is out doing one of her showings of a property or something, and there's already rice made, I'll just heat it just a little or have it cold. And this is tuna caldereta, and it's very slightly spicy, and I have that with a little rice. Same again. So these are emergency. Sometimes I'm not eating cheese too much lately because of the diet that I'm on, but I would have cheese and baked beans. These, of course, are American baked beans, and in saying that they are American, they're no more American than I am, although they may, see, this says fat-free and a good source of fiber, but I bet if you look on the label, it will have sugar in baked beans. Where does it say? Sugar. This has got 15, whatever it is. I think it's 15 grams of some measurement. It doesn't actually say, it just says 15. Could be, could be 15 pennies. It says dietary fiber is 6. You really have to look at the labels if you're really interested in health. protein on the tuna calderetta. The protein is, this is measured in percentage. Protein is 5 grams. Vitamin A is 1 international unit, which is 117%. I watched an interesting video on Facebook, on YouTube the other day, that was talking about the international unit. That doctors got together, as they will, planning for our well-being, and they decided on an international unit, whereas before we were looking at whether something was grams. This actually says total carbohydrates 7 grams. Now, other measurements on this say international units, so it gets very mixed up. But the international unit was not any carefully measured out conversion from the existing way that they measure these things. They just decided on that. And in fact, when you see something and it has a certain number of international units in there, you have to really be careful that you find another way of measuring exactly what that food product has in it in terms of protein and sugar. Let me see if I can find any sugar in this. Sugars, 3 grams. Why would you put sugar into tuna? So, I just remembered. It's for my own good. Silly Billy. Well, that's everything. So, looking at it here, let me give you a look. There we go. I forgot my little things here. I got some marmalade and one of these things as well. So forgot to include those. So that's what we've been up to today, buying, and we've got several things like these things. These are going to last probably maybe even 2 or 3 weeks. It depends. The eggs, of course, I like to eat a minimum of 3 eggs a day for my protein. Someone said that's not enough, and I bow to your superior experience. Seriously. I'm not very good, I'm not very technical at working out calories and how many grams of protein we need. And once I've memorized that there's a doctor that I follow that seems to make a lot of sense on YouTube, and he says what he does in the morning, every morning he eats 3 eggs. I looked at the bodybuilder Lee Priest, who is an English bodybuilder that was an award-winning, incredible bodybuilder, and he says that he eats 5 eggs, and he's even shorter than I am. So a minimum of 3, and then I have it with oats, unless of course we have bananas, and then I'll have a banana in with the oats, or an apple. And I forgot to show one thing that I have got, which I love. I got these. This, I don't know about a coconut as big as your head, but the watermelon, and they actually, I think in Tagalog, I think it's called a patong, but it's a watermelon. This is a fair weight. It's actually sold by the kilo. So when you go and you pick one, they put it on the scale, and you pay whatever it was. I think that this was 270. Now, if I went into Alturas, which is where everything is so beautifully laid out, this same melon would cost me 380, is what I think. I looked at them today. So I decided that I would wait, and I got this one at the stall where our lovely student, Justine, often works. And the last time that I went there, she was very kind, and she gave me a load of let me see, mangoes. And when I got home, I was talking to Beth. I said, yeah, I went to where Justine works, and she gave me a load of free mangoes. She said, they are mangoes which are going to go off very, very quickly. They're almost there. And it's funny because when I watched Justine, every time she went to a mango to put it into the bag, she did that. Should have known there must have been a reason. So that's our little grocery thing. I hope that it helps. It does vary, but I've got some what I think are luxury items. If you really come down to it, you know, I've seen this before in the not in the UK, in the US, how people can live extremely cheaply and actually much healthier than they would normally live if they went out and bought things like this, which are okay on the palate but are not so good on health. See, now this is not really healthy. Boy, when I first got to America and things were very, very tough, my kid and I ate a lot of these, and apparently they're loaded with sodium. Needs must. But I have some fruit. I already have some apples. I did some shopping a couple of days ago, and I spent about 1,500 then. So load that on to today, 1,500. So nearly 4,000 on groceries. Okay, and actually this would amount to 3,000 pesos because of the melon, because the melon was nearly 300 and this was nearly 800. So gives you an idea. But I think compared to the prices that I'm hearing especially in America, and how much things cost, we're still doing pretty good. For instance, this is 140. I think it's 147 or 137, something like that. So it's about $2.50, and I think that that's pretty good. The eggs, $1.20 for what was it? Was it 12 eggs? It doesn't seem so bad. And so if you really were strapped, as we've been when they stopped my pension sometimes, and the timing for money coming in is all messed up, you can eat very cheaply. You're looking at the meat, so you can get the meat, and that meat for that meal will be under $2, around the $2, sometimes $1.50 for the meat, and then rice, which is still quite cheap here for us anyway. Bananas are quite cheap. I bought a ton of bananas yesterday. We love bananas, and we've eaten almost all of them. They're the smaller ones, very delicious. Now, they're extremely good for you. And each banana is if I am to count calories at all, is about 80 calories or 60 to 80 calories for the small one. And if you're looking at a meal, think of a Big Mac meal. I always keep this as a kind of a measure, a layman's measure, all right? A Big Mac meal is about 600 calories. Right, so if you had four of those meals, remember that there was a video was made by someone who says supersize this, and he ate only McDonald's, and his calorie count was pretty high eating Big Macs. So if I look at a meal and needing to eat maybe 600 calories, maybe 700 calories as a man, then I could do that quite easily with eggs. I could do that with some eggs, some oats, which are very cheap, and bananas, which are very cheap and which you can get anywhere. Almost every vendor going along the road, if they're selling food at all, they're usually selling some bananas because a lot of people are growing them themselves. We could do that if we wanted. But anyway, if you look at a little treat like this, I used to have this orange marmalade. I used to have that with, let me see, I used to have that when I was having crackers. I would have it with crackers, and especially if I was having it with cheese. I'd have marmalade with cheese. So, I've gone on a little bit more again. So thank you. Please share this if you have a mind, because it really does help us. It helps us to get our views up. It helps us to get new people to come via the algorithms. They will see us as being more deserving, shall we say, more deserving of some extra promotion. So thanks for being with me. Bye.